So yeah, I thought I'd do a video on family issues, difficulties at home. Can I blame my upbringing? Like going in more that direction. And I don't know if this has always really been the case, but I think especially more in my adult years. I don't know, but maybe it's always been like this. I think my family's been quite dysfunctional. Like it's quite separated. I don't really come from a nice close knit family. I don't come from that nice close knit. I don't know. Go as far to say middle class family sort of lifestyle where it's all about. I'm going to say British Western values where I don't think I've had that luxury of, oh, we have family traditions, we always get together at a certain time or a certain week or a certain time of year. I just don't think it's ever been like that. So like we've always done our own thing. Like we don't. It's not like we go to the pub every Sunday morning or every Sunday evening to have a fucking roast dinner and a few drinks, or we meet up to have a roast dinner on a Sunday in general, or where family is around aunties and uncles, cousins, the whole big shebang and close knit stuff. I probably wish I had, because I think it probably might have impacted my mental state, made me look at the world in a different way. Because I feel like the sort of people you're around has a big effect on your mental state and the way you see the world. And to be honest, I think because of that dysfunctionality, that family being separated, everyone just seems to do their own thing, be more interested in do their own thing. I'd even say even my dad rather does his own thing. He just fucks off and does his own, knocks a golf ball around, or fucks off to the cricket club to be in his own little world. Like he's not really, doesn't seem interested at the end of the day. I think it does cause an impact in the way I see the world and all that sort of stuff. Where I do think I live an isolated existence, and I've always blamed Asperger's for that, but I don't know, maybe it's just the way people are, like, but I don't know if I'm just coming up with excuses, but I think it's proven to be the case. I just don't come from a close-knit family. I wish I did. I don't know if things would be different if I had people like my grandma live closer to where I live, like my grandma and granddad lived closer to where I lived, or my dad's brother, my cousins. I don't know, they seem to be a little bit more close knit than like my mum's side of the family, where everybody just does their own, don't really know any of them. There's one specific family that seems to be a bit cliquey. Like if you're not part of that clique, you're an outsider and you're not worth dealing with. It seems just stuff like that, and that's the tradition. And I've mentioned the same with family, friends, people we've known in the past. As of getting older, people just disappear and move on, and I think that's contributed to the loneliness, and everybody just seems to rather do their own. People like my dad, even on Christmas Day, I think he rather fuck off and do his own, like it seems. But there's also been like difficulties at home now, like in the past, like especially when I was a teenager and throughout my childhood. It's always been on and off, really. Like I'd say, like I was talking about this with my sister at one point. a term someone that's not exactly grown up with a lot. I didn't really have a cushy upbringing. There was quite a lot of times of struggle, my mum being ill, empty fridge at home. My parents split for a bit. This was when I started high school. My mum struggling to pay the bills. Like around the time I was in high school, we were living in poverty because of that. It was an on and off thing, really. Very early on in my life, it was quite comfortable, I guess, before my mum getting ill, when she still worked. But I was very young at the time, too young to understand and remember. This was like probably when I was 5 and all that, below that age. We didn't have big fancy holidays like some families, like going to Disney World, Florida, being absolutely spoiled rotten like some families. It was Pontins and Butlins and Haven Holidays at best. Haven Holidays in Great Yarmouth. And that was as good as it got. And or going to my grandma's, seeing my cousins down south, which at the time were probably the best days of my life. But that's not a thing anymore. For whatever reason, probably my grandma getting older and more fragile minded has probably contributed to that, and cousins getting older, being disinterested, doing their own thing. I don't think I had a bad childhood, specifically below the age of 10, but we had a lot of problems. It was, like I mentioned, it was on and off. A lot of bad things happened. A lot of difficult times happened, especially around the time when I was a teenager, being at high school. Home life was at its worst. My mum falling ill, like my mum being ill was on and off since the age of 6 or something. Even though that's calmed down. Bad decisions, no money, empty fridge. My dad leaving, social services getting involved. It wasn't a good time, which may have resulted in my mental state today. I think it probably has. No cushy family with a safety net, with a full fridge and a warm house. Luxurious holidays to look forward to with the big middle class family over in Florida. It was quite the opposite. So yeah, that's a bit about home life and stuff. Like, obviously, I mentioned my mum's mental health was on and off. She was sectioned in hospital. She's been better for quite a while, but God bless her. She didn't deserve the life she had. This sort of stuff that's happened to her, because she's a quiet, gentle woman, very easygoing, probably one of the most easygoing women you'll ever meet in your life, but probably a bit too easygoing that it's a bit annoying. But ultimately, she's a good woman. She gets involved with the church. She's caring. She goes out of her way to help and all that. And I've mentioned my dad, like, good, probably a good guy deep down, but probably quite clumsy in ways. Like, he just seems to do his own thing. He just doesn't seem to be interested and or really understand the real problems. And I don't know, like, how I feel, like my social isolation and my mental state. Like, I don't think he seems to really understand it, to be honest, for whatever reason. Don't know if it's a generational thing, but we're not a perfect family. We're quite dysfunctional, and I'm lucky to still have my parents and my sister, because they to be honest, they're really all I've got. I don't really see anyone else. I've tried other social things in the past, like Andy's Man Club. I started following the church my mum goes to, and it's quite wholesome to look at because I see that as proper England, especially the way England is at the minute with, people that don't seem to have British values, and we've seemed to have lost our way with like the boat people and all that. It's made me think this is proper England. These people are happy because they're surrounded by good, positive people. It's a whole game changer to your mental state and all that. So I thought maybe I should try and get involved in some way, I guess. Even though I've attempted it before, but I was probably in a very different mindset at the time. Very young, very naive. Because at the minute, I'm someone that describes myself as having Christian Western values, like I've mentioned it in other videos. I think that's just the way to go. That's the way to be healthy minded. That's the way it should be. That's the way Britain should be, if you know what I mean. Nature, a bit of dog walking, a bit of community, family. That's what it should be all about. And I think over the years it's been lost, especially with my family, because I don't really see a lot of my family. And I still think they really understand. I don't think they really, I know it's not about me, but I don't think they really understand the effect it's taken to my mental health. The fact that it's caused severe social isolation and quite severe depression, where I've questioned things. I've even had it in the back of my mind of the S word off of myself, but it's gotten that bad. Probably not as bad as some people.